Welcome. They've opted into simple trading, where I help traders. I help you understand the markets in a simplistic fashion. Where I take simple concepts to advanced concepts and break them down, where you can understand them and be effective in your trading. So in this video, I'm going to talk about trading styles. I want to talk about what I believe is going to be so important for you determining what kind of trader you are, right? I know you might be asking, well, what should I trade? When do I trade? What is the best market for me to trade, right? And I really want to talk about this. I really want to talk about trading styles. I want to talk about determining and finding out what your style is. For me, what I discovered is that when I discovered and learned more about my personality and habits, it really helped me. It really helped point back to me what was the best trading style for me, right? It helped point back to what the best trading style for me. For me, you know, I've I've definitely worked on a lot of these things, a lot of my uh, personality and a lot of things emotionally that I just didn't have together. Like in the beginning of my journey, I was very impatient, very emotional, guys. I mean, I had a lot of fear of like missing out. I wanted to get successful right away. I mean, I was just, I agreed. Um, I over leveraged. I had a revenge trading, guys. I had so many things that were just like I needed to work on it with my emotional management. And those are some of the weaknesses that I worked on and I'm still working on. I'll probably be working on for a long time. Might be a lifetime of working on these things and making improvements. But one of my strengths that I did have that I noticed with even all of those things I had to work on emotionally was like I discovered that wow, I'm an incredible technical analyst. Like a lot of people, especially in the first company that I joined trading, and I had built a team and I had a lot of students and mentees, and they would all come to me like, "Yo, Jordan, you are so amazing technically. Like you know how to read the chart." I was like very patient, waiting for the entries, waiting for the market to come to me instead of me chasing the market. I would teach people the indicators, break down every indicator, like just breaking down stuff that people really couldn't grasp. I was able to see the market in a different way, and because of that, it was I was able to start developing my own strategies. Right, I started developing my own indicators, and that was my strength, was that I was able to really develop an edge. I was able to read the market and analyze the market really in a powerful way. And I don't want to even say accurate because we're never going to be accurate with the market. The market's going to do what it's going to do. But my projections and predictions were very good because of my strength to analyze. And so that was one of my things that I determined. And I was very aggressive. I'm a very aggressive, very impulsive trader. And so getting involved in scalping, binary trading, is what was like that's my thing, and I was able to develop that style, learning my personality habits, and then I went on to swing trading. Now I'm swing trading now as well, and so what I want to talk about is how can you develop your style and use and understanding your personality habits, how it can point to that. Now, I talked about some of these things just now, but I want to highlight them. Like we all have some of these traits that we're working on and to improve. Are some things that we're struggling against. Some things we might not even be aware that we have that are affecting us, are affecting our proficiency in the market. Number one is FOMO, and this is not in any particular order, but let's just talk about it. FOMO, the fear of missing out. How many of you guys have gotten trades where you were just like, oh my god, I got to get this trade, or the market started moving out of your direction already, and you're trying to chase it. You're trying to get it because you believe that there might not be more opportunities, right? Or maybe you're a person that sees a lot of opportunities, but you're just like, man, I got to get this one. So understand that you having that fear of missing out, maybe there could be a different type of trading, a type of trading that could be for you. Maybe you might be a great um scout right swing trader. So because you're gonna wait for that right opportunity. When you get it, you're gonna get it, right? You're gonna get in because you don't want to miss out, right? Now another I have listed here is frustration, anger. Guys, I can't tell you when I started and I started losing. Man, I had frustration, I had anger, and in turn that had me revenge trading. So I would try to fight the market. I would try to battle the market, and I saw that with that trade, I was like, wow, this is this can actually be an asset of strength to me in my binary trading. So when I would trade money in minutes, when I would do like 5 minutes, 1 minute trades, I was able to kind of battle the market. I was able to trap the market, do sells and buys at the same time. Of course, have my bias, if there's more sells or buys, but I was able to kind of use that as an asset to help me in my binary trading, my scalp trading, right? Another thing that you might be working on, somebody might be working on, is pride over confidence. How many of you guys had got you did your analysis and you were just so sure that you were right and this market was not going to disagree with you, and you analyze that thing, you put up a 3%, 5% risk, and that market just took you for a spin. You were just so confident, and and maybe you were just so confident to the point where it just happens, you were wrong. But what happens if you don't have an edge and you just guess? You're like, you're so confident. I know this market can't be. I probably like the market will take you on a spin, and so maybe your pride and your overconfidence, it could also be an asset, right? Maybe it's an asset where you do your technical analysis and you don't have the fear of putting up a good risk, right? So maybe you can consistently put up 3% risk, where some people might only be doing 0.5 or 1% risk, and you make more profit. Of course, if you're winning, most of the time, of course, if your strategy edge is good. So maybe that overconfidence can help you in some ways, but also it can work against you. So it's for you to determine, you know, um, how can this weakness yet possible potential strength help me in my trading style. Next thing is boredom and tiredness. I know some people that they don't want to sit in front of the charts. They don't want to wait. They don't want to like they get tired. They start falling asleep. They're like, man, I don't want to sit and watch these charts. I want to do a they want to get a bot, right? Or they just want to get in and out the market because they're bored. Probably scalping is perfect for them. 1 minute trade, 3 minute trades, 5 minute trades is probably perfect for them. They could probably trade with a bot, have a bot, an AI trade for them. Maybe they need to be careful and risk 0.5% instead of big percent. But whatever that is, that boredom tiredness, maybe, they just don't have the time to sit there and watch the charts. So they could be great scalpers because they just want to get in and out. They want to have their fun and they want to be finished, right? Greed. Maybe somebody that's they made their money and they want to keep making it. Oh man, I'm doing great, and just sometimes you get greedy. You made your profit and then you keep trading, you over trade, or you want to make more money, and you wind up giving everything back to the market. Now, in all of these personality traits that I'm showing in the market that apply to the market, I believe that all of these need to be worked on, right? All these we should be working on all of these, working to hone and resolve these. And greed is one thing, right? Uh, greed could also, you might be a person that wants to play it big, right? Because normally people who suffer with or who battle, I should say, with greed, right? It's an emotional thing. It's an emotional trigger sometimes. It's an emotional thing that needs to be managed. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make more, but we have to manage that, right? And maybe somebody has greed. Maybe they're gonna be the person that says, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna put $10,000 in this account. I'm gonna be able to flip it." So instead of where some people might say, "Okay, I'm very patient. I'm gonna take 500. I'm gonna flip it all the way to 5,000." You could be the person that says, "Okay, I'm gonna start with 10,000, and I could take just small trades because now I have a bigger account size and I can grow it." So it's just about how are you going to use that greed to your advantage. So maybe you could be a good swing trader because you want to make more. You can let your trades run, right? You could put more in an account and not have to take as big of a lot size, right? But again, that's up to you to determine. Next time we'll talk about is fear and anxiety, right? I know when I first started, I had fear and anxiety because I was risking too much money. I was doing like 20% trade sometimes, and then I would get all scared because I'm about to blow the account. So fear is another thing. Like, how can you use fear or anxiety to your advantage? And normally, people who have fear, they're not quick to react, right? So maybe you, being a person that has fear or anxiety, you might need to be the person that says, okay, I'm gonna size down and do smaller positions. So you could be the person that's not gonna over leverage, right? With some people blowing their accounts, and you're gonna be more conservative, right? So that could be very powerful for you. Well, let's say you're doing swing trading, or you could even be stacking, let's say trades, or maybe you're doing position trading, and you're just letting it go. And so as a market moves, you don't no longer have any fear, and you've kind of waited for those opportunities because you want to make sure that you get into the right trade, right? Now, of course, I don't think anybody should have fear or anxiety, but let's just talk about how we can utilize these emotional mis misnomers to our advantage, right? And the next thing I want to talk about is hope. Right? How many of you got in a trade and the trade is going crazy, and you're like, man, I'm killing this thing, and you see it coming up to that zone, and you know there's a potential that thing is going to reverse and come back. And instead of you taking those profits, you say, hey, man, I know this thing is going to shoot up to the sky. It's going to keep going. And you are hoping for that thing to break that level of resistance or support. And you want to find that you're wrong, and it comes back, and you lose all that profit. You lose all that profit. Well, how can hope work to your advantage? Maybe you're the person that uses hope as a way that you did your analysis, and you're going to be patient and wait for the market to come to your entry because you're like, hey, I believe that this is going to come here. And so you don't have fear of missing out. You don't jump into trade immediately because you hope that's going to come to your level, and you just wait and you get in. But the thing is always safe to it's always smart to have an exit, before you have your entry. So that way, if it doesn't do what you believe, right, you don't lose your profits. Or you might think the market's gonna go your way, and the total goes the opposite way. How are you gonna safeguard yourself to make sure you get out the market? So hope, right? With that, with that emotional trigger of hope, right? Perhaps, perhaps with that you can be a great trader, whether intraday, whether scalping, right? Because you did your analysis, you believe that it's gonna come to your entry, do what it needs to do. It might not do what you say it's going to do so far as a projection, but you can utilize that to your advantage, right? But again, we should work on resolving that emotional, managing that emotional thing too, and make sure that, even if we have hope it's going to go somewhere, that we have safeguards set in place like stop losses and break evens and take profits. Now, next thing I'll talk about is depression, right? Now, if you're depressed, I will say you shouldn't even be trading. And if you're depressed, you shouldn't be trading. But I've also seen where people, let's say, that if you do have depression and they don't really trade a lot. And so you could be the person that says, okay, I'm a swing trader or I'm a position trader and I don't need to get in a lot of trades. Because maybe you understand that, okay, maybe I'm dealing with this little depression and I need to make sure that I don't trade today. So maybe you only trade, you know, twice a week, once a week. And so, this is how, just think about how we can use these things to our advantage. And the last thing I want to talk about is excitement. Now, I believe excitement is awesome, but excitement could also be like hope, where you're too excited, you're not thinking clearly, you're not analyzing clearly. So maybe it's working against your analysis, and you're just too hyped, and you're just like too excited. But I've also seen where people who are like that, they might do great in scalping because they're so excited and they just get right in. People that are excited, very impulsive, and they just, let's go, you know? And so these are things that you can utilize the advantage. So let's talk about trading styles, right? Let's talk about this. So maybe a scalper. So what could we do as a scalper? So there's different ways you can scalp. We have what we call binary trading, counter trend trading, and consolidation trading, right? And so one example of binary trading could be something like trade in. There's a site called Pocket Options where we basically come in and we can trade on minute time frames. Look, you could come in here, you can set your risk, right? And you could come in here and set, okay, I'm gonna be doing, hey, 5 minute trades, 1 minute trades. And you could come in here and you can scalp the market. So you don't have to sit here and watch the charts all day. You could come in here, trade really, fast, and basically you're in and you're out. Right. We also have what we call what I would also excuse me. We also have what I call counter trend trading. Right. So normally, we're taught to trade the trend, right? But there are some people that, as you advance in this, right, you could trade. They were taught to trade with the trend, right? But as you advance in this, you can learn how to find. Okay, you read Elliott Waves, for example, and you learn how to trade. With the counter trend. So what am I saying? So meaning here, let's take this currency here, looking at AUD CHF, for example. Now if you look, if I was to draw my trend line, you see the trend is coming down. Right? So you see that the market is constantly dropping. However, there are times in the market where it comes up right here. Right? There are times in the market where it does a counter trend, right? Might even have one, let's see, right here. And so there are people that use there are traders that maybe you're a scalper and you want to get in quick, in and out. And you can get on these trends and you can get in and out. Now these are bigger time frames, but let's even look at small time frames. Look at a 5 minute time frame, right? And we kind of saw that the market was trending down, right? But also we see it trending up. So this would be also considered a, a counter trend for the bigger time frame, but it's also a smaller trend. You see a lot of counter trends, right, on these small time frames. See, down, up, down, up, right? So there's a lot of counter trends where you could do sells and buys. So you can get a lot of buys on this huge downtrend, right? And then we had a nice big uptrend. So that's what I would call counter trend trading, right? And then also we have what's called consolidation trending. Excuse me. So let's look at this again. Let's go back to this pair. Now, if you look at this, we can see that the market was trending down, right? And then what happened? The market broke. Then the market trended up, right? And then the market's kind of just sitting here right now, right? And so what's happening now is we have what I would call consolidation. This is on the hour time frame. So now look, we have area right here where it's very possible you could take sells up here and write it down. Take buys up here until this box is broken. So what's happening? The market right now is trading within a range. So a market is trading within a range, so it breaks, and it's very it's possible it could keep continuing to the upside, right, when it breaks. But who knows if it comes up here first? Who knows if it comes up here first and then rejects, right? So we could see it. We could see it touch the top of this box first. Very possible touch the top of this box first and then come down, right? And then we could possibly even see it come right back up, right? So this is what we call consolidation trending. We're basically trending within a range. So this is something that works very great for scalpers, right? So especially when it comes to the top, even if it's a couple minutes, it's gonna be a very profitable trade because we've seen these heavy rejections at the top of this box. Okay. So now let's talk about we talked about scalping, right? And the next type of trade I want to talk about is intraday trading. So what is intraday trading? Maybe you're not a scalper. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't want to trade in minutes. It's too volatile. It's too fast for me. I like to take my time. Okay. And but you're like, hey, I have a maybe you have a job and you're like, hey, I need to be able to trade this thing, fast, get in and out. So maybe for you, intraday trading could work well. And that's where we see things like day trading. We see options trading. These are trades that could go for minutes to hours. So you see people that maybe trade, within the day. Maybe they trade in the stock market and they say, okay, hey, I'm gonna trade for a couple of hours and I'm in and out the market. So for example, in this area of consolidation, let's take this big green candle right here. Let's take this big green candle. Let's see. How long did this candle last? We've seen this candle started at 9:30, and this candle literally finished like about 9:15. But let's look at this run. Imagine you got right here at the body of this candle and you took it up to here. That's 33 pips. 33 pips within 30 minutes. So those are people that potentially, these are some people that do this type of trading, intraday trading. So you basically got in. It's also a form of scalping, right? But it's also like, some people, some traders would get in this and they could even have stayed in this run and it kept going up from, let's say, was this 10:30 all the way, let's say they stayed in from 10:30 to 5. They stayed in for about 10:35. So they stayed about 6 hours and they got out 6, 7 hours, right? So it could be from, like I said, minutes to hours. So this would be intraday trade, and then you get out. Now, is it possible this could be also swing trade? That's possible. It could keep going up, right? Or it could come and come down, right? But regardless, you got out of the trade. So that's what we would call intraday trading, right? So determining what is your style. Is intraday your style? Is day trading your style? And then we have what we call swing trading. So this is basically trend trading. What I consider trend trading, and this can be trades that could go from, let's say, days to weeks, right? So let's take this pair that we're on again back, for example. And if you look here, we see the market broke, came into this area, and kind of it still trended a little bit. But let's say that my analysis was way better, and I determined that, okay, this is the area that I'm going to be getting in here, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about uh, swing trader. Maybe this is the area of resistance or bounce. They got in, they rolled this up. When did this happen? When did this start around? So maybe you got in this trade around August 8th, right? At 9:45. You see a reject of the box, keeps going. You see you come to this next zone. Now it's August 9th. Now it's August 12th. It's still going up. It's still going up. August 14th kind of came down and went up again. So like August 15th. So you went all the way from August 9th to August 15th. That you're patient and you say, okay, I'm gonna wait for this trade. Who knows? Maybe it might come down here and then shoot all the way back up. Right? So this would be considered swing trading, right? Now there's other things that we would analyze and consider, determine if this is a swing trade. I'm just throwing this out due to my ear. By eye, I mean I'm not telling you this is definitely a swing trade. I don't know because I haven't analyzed it, but this is something that we can consider again trend trading. Okay, and so lastly, we have what we call position trader, and position trading can be what I would say trading that goes on for weeks to months to years. So let's even take this pair again, right? Let's say we were looking at the daily or the weekly, you analyze this. And imagine you're somebody that was looking at this big trend and you said, oh my goodness, This is coming up to this big trend line. You know, I'm trying to see if it had bounced again. Okay. So at that time, you wouldn't even have known. Let's say it was here, and you said, "Oh my goodness, it's coming up to this trend line," and you said, "Hey, you know what? I believe that this is gonna hit this trend and go down for the next few years." And let's say you got in right at the trend line, and this thing hit, rejected, or it came up, rejected. I mean, this was in looking at 2021, right? So let me show you this. So look at this. Let's say you got in here. Boom. This is April 2021. And this thing just kept tanking and tanking. It came back up a little bit, came down some more. 20 this is June 2022, and it still dropped even more. July 20, 2024. So this was a span of uh 3 years that this thing kept going down. I mean, you're talking about a massive amount of pips. I mean, you're talking about, my goodness, you're talking about 1,000, over 1,000 pips, 1,600 pips. It's a lot of pips, a lot of money. Now, your style, that might require you to be extremely patient, right? It's a long term holding. So you'll find this in stocks. You'll find people like this in crypto. How many of you have held Bitcoin? How many of you might have got in Bitcoin and say, okay, I've been in Bitcoin since 2012 or 2006. You're probably rich if you've been in since 2006. Let's say you were in 2012 or you were in 2020, right? These are long term holdings. Um, and these are people that do position trading. And so you'll see also liquidity, high liquidity holders, right? So we talked about here. So imagine at this on the daily chart, imagine this area of resistance. It's a big area, but if you waited for the play in the zone and come out and tank, if you this was actually a big area of liquidity. Why? Because this was a major, if you look, it kind of went up, it didn't break. This was a major area of support and resistance, major area of a floor and a ceiling. And this confirmed to be a ceiling, especially with this trend line, right? Came up, broke the trend for a second or faked out, and then it plummeted. So people probably got scared that who got in here and said, "Oh, we're gonna get out," and then the thing just tanked for the rest of the year, right? So whoever stayed in there, people that were patient, they made a lot of money. And so that's what we would call position trading. So this will require lots of patience because I mean you're holding for years. You're holding for months to years. That requires patience for you not to get out to trade, you not to get scared, especially when the market seems like it, especially when the market starts to come up, right? And let's say you're up 150,000 and the market comes up, now you're only up 80,000. Some people are, do you get out, take the profits, or do you let the ride continue? And so that's what I wanted to show you. So trade and style. So I really want you to think about what is your trading style? What style are you attracted to? What style uh, do you best see yourself doing? And looking at your emotional triggers, the way you manage your emotions, the way you manage your psychology. Are you impulsive? Do you believe that it's going to be better for you to be a scalper because you're aggressive, or maybe you're really patient and you're very picky on your entries. So maybe maybe a swing trading is great for you, or maybe position trading, or maybe you work a job and you're like, hey, I can be patient, I can mark my charts, but I can't sit there all day, or I can't pay attention to this. I'm moving around a lot. So maybe you can do intraday trading, right? Maybe you have a couple of hours, in the beginning of the day or something. You can sit down, trade, and then you go take care of your kids, or you go to work, or you go to the gym, or whatever. So maybe intraday, or maybe swing trade, it could be for you because you say, okay, I have time to wait for it to hit this entry. I get in, I set it, and I forget it, and I walk away. And maybe that's for you. So it's really determined. Okay, what strengths and what weaknesses do you have? Which way of trading works with your personality? And I'll be helping you guys in the community and in this channel. help you identify. So if you put in the chat, put in the comments, let me know what is your style of trading, and tell me why. What is your style of trading, and why do you think that's the best style for you? All right, guys, thank you. I hope this video helped you. It gave you some more information, insight to the world of trading, and made this more simpler for you. So thank you for tuning in, Simpler Trading. I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.